And welcome to One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Steve. I'm here with another episode of Co-op Corner. So this is going to be a brief live news focused discussion where we'll be covering cooperative games that are new on the market. Maybe they're on crowdfunding, maybe they're in retail, maybe there's some news about them we want to talk about, but we'll bring it here for you guys. So, hey, G Golly, welcome. I see you here. And yes, unfortunately, it was a little bit delayed because Gen Con, since I was at Gen Con, so I wasn't able to sneak in an extra of these co-op corners for you. But we're here today. Hey, Brian. Nice to see you as well. Okay. Well, let's jump into it. We've got a lot of games to cover in a short period of time. If you guys have any questions, I am watching the chat, and I'll do my best to answer any questions you have as we go through it. Okay. So, let's get this ball rolling with the first game to talk about. Okay. First one we want to talk about is The Wilderness. So this one is currently on Kickstarter, or sorry, GameFound, on GameFound. And I was actually pretty interested in this one when I first heard about it. I was able to play it. It is a 1 to 6 player game. Takes about upwards of 150 minutes to play. It is kind of a apocalyptic type game. So the setting is you are survivors in this city that's kind of in ruins due to the wilderness taking over. And so it's a scenario-based game, and you are scavenging materials to try to fight off the wildlife there, which is generally wolves. But the main thing is there are big beasts in the game as well. So this one is, if because I played this one, it feels very, very much like a zombicide type game. I can see a lot of elements being drawn from that type of game, but it also throws in a boss in there as well. So not only do you have the zombies, some zombicide feel, but you have this big boss running around with its own type of behavior and actions that you have to deal with. So I did play through a demo of this one with Baron from Meet Me at the Table. Actually, we sat down and played this one together and worked through it. It is you do have to play with 6 characters. So it doesn't matter how many players you have, it is a 6 character game. And so if you're playing solo, that means managing all 6 characters. But honestly, the characters are pretty easy to manage. They have experience, they have weapons, a left and right hand, and gear they have. There are also 2 tracks you can level up. So there might be like an explorer track, or a medic track, or a shooter track, all sorts of different ones. So as you hit these different experience levels, you can choose to start on the top and work your way down the bottom of one of those 2 tracks. This kind of has a little bit of a combination between Cthulhu Death May Die and the Zombicide. So, because like Cthulhu Death May Die, you've got that track of powers, and kind of as you upgrade, it gets stronger and stronger. But it's got the same Zombicide feeling. When you hit different regions, you unlock new abilities. So, yeah, Brian says, "Is 6 much for solo?" It's a lot, but it's not taxing. Let me put it that way. It's pretty straightforward. You're doing 4 actions, so it's like moving, searching, scavenging in this game is what's called, using your weapons, doing objectives in there, for example. That's kind of what it's about. And now, so the turn structure is all the characters will take a turn, and then the wolves, which are effectively, I'm going to refer to this to Zombicide because there's a lot of parallels here. They will spawn and they will move towards you. There's 3 different types. Some of them are faster, slower than others. Now, the interesting thing about this is all the weapons in the game are not effective against each enemy type. It has a little icon on top of the weapons that says, hey, this is good at killing the alpha wolves. This one's good at killing the scout wolves. Generally, the scout wolves are faster, but most things kill them. Alpha wolves are harder to hit. They all have 1 life, so you hit them, they're gone. And the weapons also have a damage value and how much damage they can inflict the boss. It tells you like how many dice you roll, what range you can hit at, and what you need to roll to be successful. So that's kind of what it's about. In the mission we played, the goal was to take out the beast, the big beast. And as you hit the beast halfway through its health, it will get enraged and start doing different actions. But on the beast turn, what they do is they'll have 3 action cards, and it will basically be running around the full board and just harassing all the players. It's kind of difficult to manage because if you're visible, the the wilderness works together. So if the wolves see you, if one wolf sees you, all the wolves see you, and so they can work together and track you. But if you're not visible from any wolves, then the beasts and the wolves won't be able to come after you. That's how it works. And you kind of need, as far as I understand it, you kind of need those 6 characters in this one because the beast moves all over the board. You kind of, in order to attack it effectively, you need to like corner it. So you kind of need to surround it, and it'll attack you guys, but it'll stay where it's at, and then you can deal with it there. But yeah, play this one. Like I said, if you like zombicide type games, you want a zombicide with a beast battle in there, this one's definitely that. Admittedly, I did not quite like my experience, unfortunately. It was not one that neither Baron and I walked away feeling like, yeah, that was awesome. So be what it may, this one is not going to come with an unfortunate recommend for me. So, but like I said, everyone's a little different. This is my personal opinion. It is the Wilderness. You can go check it out on GameFound. All right, moving on to our next game we want to talk about. This one is on Kickstarter, and it's called Small Time Heroes. So I wanted to give a shout out. Last time I did the co-op corner, Mike James had a suggestion at the end of the stream to do a call out on the stream to say which of these games really jumped out at me, or just like highlight a game. And so I'm gonna call it a spotlight, for lack of a better word. But this one here is gonna be my spotlight game. So I also demoed this one with Barrett. Really, really awesome. This one is super fun. 1 to 2 players. It is a roguelike deck builder. And so how this one works is you'll be picking a character. The characters are all very unique. In the demo we played, one character is like more of a knight type character. They actually have to like don armor, and the other one is like a rogue or a thief, and they can actually go hiding, conceal itself. And the the interesting thing about this one is you have a starting deck. It's all unique cards for each character, but the cards you buy from are also unique. So you are playing in your own play space almost. You're working together, but you're playing your own play space as it happens. Also, in this one, when you're buying cards, normally in deck builders you have like money cards to buy other cards. Not in this one. When you gain it'll tell you in the game when you can gain cards, and you just pick them. They're all just gain 2 cards. You just pick what 2 cards you want. How the game works is the goal is to take down a big boss. In order to do that, you have to survive 3 waves of enemies. Each wave is going to consist of 3 different enemies. So you will spawn 3 level 1 enemies, take them out, move to level 2, take them out, level 3, take them out, and move on to the final one. So how this is going to work is when it's your turn to play cards, you can play any cards you want. The top corner of the card has an energy cost. You're allowed to play 3 energy worth of cards on your turn. Some cards cost 0, but generally they cost 1, 2, or even up to 3 in some cases. And do whatever it says on the card. They have a lot of keywords and special effects, which are really fun. And then after each player takes a turn, you will look at an intent card. Intent card is face down in front of both players, and it has little symbols on the back side. It might have something like triangle, circle, something like that. When you flip it over, it will only be 1 symbol. And maybe in this case it's circle. So what do these symbols mean? Each enemy is assigned a different symbol. So if I look at the intent card, I see triangle, circle. That means at the end of my turn, either the triangle enemy or the circle enemy is going to activate this turn. I don't know which one it is, but one of the 2 is going to activate. That helps inform my decision on which enemy I should focus on. Because if I can work together, take out the triangle enemy, and I flip it over, it has to be triangle, then guess what? They don't activate. No bad effects for us. Very cool thing, how that works. Now, the other thing that's really cool, this reminds me a little bit of Sentinels of the Multiverse, in that there's also a environment deck. So, heroes will go, they take their turns, then they'll one at a time do their intent card. Flip it over, enemies activate, and then you look at the environment effect, which also has the triangles, circles, and other symbols, and they do other effects that are normally detrimental to players. And then the next hero does their stuff, and so on and so forth. The enemies have rewards when you defeat them, which ties into that. Also, when you clear out a wave, you get to get new cards and other rewards you get to do. Honestly, this one's really, really cool. Very, very fun. Does solo and co-op play basically the same? Great question, G Golly. It honestly does. The only difference is the health scales. So the health printed on the card is for solo. It is honestly designed to be a solo game, but you will double the health when playing co-op. I played both solo and co-op, and it felt the same, and I enjoyed it both ways. No concerns here on that one um, at all. Now, I will mention that while this is on Kickstarter right now, it is not your normal Kickstarter project in the sense that it is for a print and play edition. It also has a way you can get access to the Tabletop Simulator mod, and the goal of this Kickstarter campaign is to get eyeballs on it. There's only 2 characters and 1 boss to solve, but it's very clear that the goal is here's what the game's here's a sample of the game. Over the next few months, we're going to add more content, design more stuff, and this is your chance to be involved in that. February next year is when it's going to come back to, I presume, Kickstarter, come back to crowdfunding with a full release of the game. So, and during the time of now till next February, it's going to flush out the game even more. So, I am definitely have my eyes on this one. I'll be back talking about this in February. You can guarantee that. But yeah, Small Time Heroes, really, really impressive with this one. Go check it out if you're interested in deck builders. Really, really enjoyed it. All right, let's keep going. The next one I'll talk about is Birth or Bust. So this one is a party game. It's from, I believe, 3 to 6 players, and it is a cooperative party game. Very unique theme. So the theme is you are working together to give make sure the penguin egg can hatch. So let me scroll down to how to play. So basically, there is a big track on the board with an egg in the middle, and everyone is going to choose a card to play from their hand. The cards have various values on it. It might be something like +4, -3, and everyone's going to review the cards. You do the math to figure out what the difference is, and then the eggs can move to the warmer part of the track or the colder part of the track based upon that difference. The goal is to, over the course of 10 rounds, to keep the egg from getting too hot or too cold so it hatches. If you ever bust, you basically start the whole thing over again to try to see if you can do it. It also has additional things you can add in, like challenge cards, where it says, okay, I'm going to put this in front of this other player. This other player has to play a card between +7 and +11, whatever it is. And so now everyone at the table knows they're going to play a card of that range, and that informs their decisions. And there's some other things to add to the game as well. So it's not simply a blind play like this. But this gives me the impression of something like The Mind, where as you play the game, you kind of develop this common language, almost unspoken language as you play. At least that's what's being described here. So one thing I'll mention is I know that English is not their native language, and they're using translation tools to help with that. So I see it on the page, and I don't know what the end products can be in that sense, but it's a party game, so take a look at it if you're interested in it. There's 36 players, so. Yes, and there's a video that explains the game. It's very interesting to say the least. So, okay, so that was Birth or Bust. Let's move over to Game Found. So this one is Peacemakers, Horrors of War. So this is based on the same creator who did Lands of Galzir. And this one is like the same setting with animals, but it's a very different game. In this one, you are working together as a neutral party, trying to stop 2 warring factions from fighting each other. Your goal for this one is to get them to lay down their arms and stop fighting. And by doing that, you need to drop their morale to a green area, which is different on each faction. But both morales in the green area, they decide, you know what, it's not worth it, we're done, and you win the game. However, if the morale drops too far, they surrender, and that means the other side wins. So it's you want to drop it, but not too far. It's a big management part of the game. There are left and right cards for each faction that tells them like what action to do and a modifier to that action. And what you do as a player is you have a hand of cards, and the cards have different action icons on them. You can choose to do that, or unique text on the bottom to affect that. And you'll be running around like building fortifications, peeking at what they're going to do next, healing them, or maybe injuring them to try to like balance out as they approach. So, Jess asked the question: How different is from the original Peacemakers? This is a very very different game. I believe. Are you meaning Lens Gelsier? I'm guessing, Jess, because this is just not Peacemakers. I'm not sure. Not sure what you mean by that, but it's a very very different game. It's scenario based too. I think there's 6 scenarios. I have not played this one, but Mike from One Stop Co-op Shop has done a playthrough of this one over on the other channel. So go check out that one if you're interested in more detail. But oh, Dawn of Peacemakers. Oh, yeah, I don't know how related they are in that one. That's a good question, Jess. Good question. But yes, so like I said, there's a lot of playthroughs out there. Go check this one out if you're interested. I want to bring this to your attention in case this type of theme interested you. I kind of like how it's very different that you're trying to get them to be peaceful. So, okay, let's keep going. That was Peacemakers, Horrors of War. So these are games that are currently on crowdfunding. I'm going to jump back to a game that's, well, I guess it's currently on crowdfunding as well. But that is Midhalla. This one I've already covered on this channel. So if you're curious about it, you can take a look at my playthrough there. I've got a couple of them actually. This one is a cooperative dungeon crawler tower defense type game. It's a very unique combination. It's a Viking theme. Not a real Viking theme, but it's a fun fantasy theme. One unique thing about this game is combat is entirely deterministic. There's no dice rolling, no randomness. You know exactly what's happening. But it's done in really great fashion. It's really fun. It makes a fun puzzle each time. But yeah, you'll be exploring the dungeon, which basically constitute different lanes, and it has a whole narrative element as you go through the campaign. But at some point, you'll get a chance to prepare. So you will build traps, upgrade the traps, get equipment or items, and then you'll spawn enemies and then do a number of combat rounds. And you basically do this 3 times. At the end of each of those rounds, each of the combat rounds, you will be leveling up as well. So you'll be customizing character, and the characters leveling up does not persist between plays. So you will be starting off from ground level 1 all the way up to level 3 each time, which is nice because you have new players coming in. You just throw them a character and you can just join the game. You don't have to worry about level balances. Very, very cool game. I like this one a lot. That is Midhalla. It's currently on Kickstarter. So, okay. That is all stuff I was planning to talk about from active projects. Now I'm going to transition to upcoming projects to look at. I'm going to talk about this one, 4 Horsemen. This one I had my eyes on for a while. This one is coming up, I think it's August 29th, if I remember correctly. I'm just trying to pull my notes here. Gosh. Okay, so this one is based upon the apocalypse. You are trying to stop the apocalypse. You are playing as different factions, so they could be like North factions, Roman, Greeks, all sorts of like almost like deity like characters, and trying to stop the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse from enacting the apocalypse. Is what comes down to it. You lose a couple different ways. If any of the horsemen reaches the end of the track, they're done riding around the world. That means they've done all their evil deeds, and that's it. Apocalypse happens. Also, if everyone is eliminated, you lose that way as well. And actually, this one is modular in the sense that there are a bunch of different bosses. So the bosses have their own victory conditions as well. You as a player are playing simultaneous, and you are trying to use your followers because you have different followers, different types that will gain you money to buy new cards. It's all a card-based game in this sense. And using your powers, which you can use as much as you want as long as you have the resources to do so. This is being referred to as a deck upgrading game, which is kind of different. You will be choosing 4 cards to play, and the first 2 cards you'll do, I can't remember the names of it, like a play effect, another effect, and the last one you play is a sacrifice effect, which means every turn, one of the cards you play is going to be removed from your deck. But upon doing so, you get a really powerful effect, and then at the end of that, you will be able to buy more cards to add into your deck. So that your deck is constantly culling cards and constantly adding cards back into it. So, it sounds very cool. I am looking forward to more information on this one, but that's called Four Horsemen. Moving on to next one's coming up. So, oops, wrong one. There we go. Rogue Angels. This one's coming in early October. I will probably be talking about this again in another co-op corner, but I want to mention to you now because I think this is going to launch before I do the next co-op corner. This is a big, epic space campaign game. You can kind of think of it like a space dungeon crawl. Derek from Kanji Studios, Baron from Meet Me at the Table, and myself have played this game with the designer on Tabletop Simulator. Got already some playthroughs out there. Baron just did a playthrough of this one on his channel, Meet Me at the Table, Monday with Colin, which if you want to check that one out, that's available. So this one is really fun. I love this one. I've never had a bad game with this one. You're playing cards in front of you that have various cooldowns, and when they cool down, you come back to them. You have a refresh. You got some dice rolling, which is dice modification to your what you can do in the game, but it's all objective based. The objectives could be something as like eliminating all the bad guys, getting from point A to point B before a certain amount of time, escorting people, rescuing people, all sorts of stealth missions, stuff like that. It's a wide variety of stuff in this game. The AI is very clean to use. I honestly go take a look at this game. This game has been a hit for all of us. I will be doing a playthrough of this one next week, Wednesday, so this same time slot next week. So you can take a look at that one there. Can you play Rogue Angel solo? Yes, you can, Brian. Yes, you can. This is definitely solo friendly. I'm trying to think if you have to run. I don't recall off the top of my head if you have to do 2 characters or just 1. I'll have to double check on that one. But either way, it's very manageable solo for sure. So, yep, Rogue Angel's coming up, so be on the lookout for that one. The last one I want to talk about is Isofarian Guard. Oops, I've got my screens all mixed up here. Here we go. So this one you might be wondering, well, there was a Kickstarter. What's going on here? This is coming to GameFound this time and is a reprint of Isofarian Guard. I love this game. This game is amazing. It's coming back to GameFound. It's coming back with some rules adjustments and new content. I will be doing a video of this one talking about the changes to it, so be on the lookout for that. You probably see it early October. September. Sorry, early September for this one. But I will be able to share more information when more information is available to be shared about it. But if you want to get a copy of this one, this will be the time to get it because I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future for this one. So, awesome game. It is a 1 or 2 player cooperative open world adventure game. What comes down to it, you're doing a lot of bag building in this one, pulling up poker chips. Super high quality game. Narration's amazing. Foreteller is awesome when paired with this one. Can't say enough great things about this one. It's really fun. Now, I will say that depending on the type of player you are, you can get into a lot of grinding if you're a completionist. So it is definitely a possibility here, but the grind is not required. So because Kim and I, we've been playing this one without grinding, and we were having a blast with this one. It basically stays out on the table all the time because we just can't get enough of it. It's one of those games that we'll play for 30 minutes, and then 3 hours later we're still playing it. So love this one. Awesome game. So yes, just played this tonight. Exactly, it's a great game. Okay, that is what I have for this week for content. We're covering co-op corner for today. So hopefully that was useful to you guys. If you guys have any feedback for me on things you want to see changed or any games you want to see covered that are a little bit different, let me know. Very open to talking about how we can customize this for everyone's experience. But like I said, keep this as short as I can so you guys can get the information and be done. So the next thing on this channel will be a big podcast episode 400. That's right, 400 episodes for a podcast recording tomorrow night. So be on the lookout for that one. too short. No, sorry, Matthew. I'm trying to get some shorter content because I've got a lot of long content already. But there you go. So I'll consider doing longer stuff in the future. So okay, well, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you at the next stop. Bye bye.